Yes, it's me. It's Friday. It's a little late. I'm a little late doing this video, but I was kind of busy today, even though I got nothing to do. That's kind of hard to understand, but anyway, let's talk about the movies I watched this week. Alright, here we go. I got the door open, letting a little air in. A little air, fresh air. Let's talk about movies. Of course, I'll write them down in my book, right? And I got something to show you. So let's see now. Where was I? Oh yeah, the first. Well, it doesn't really matter, but the movie I watched, first movie I watched, and we'll continue. Manhattan Melodrama, 1934. I watched this on TCM. Stars Clark Gable, William Powell, and what's her name? Myrna Lowe? Everybody knows her. Myrna Lowe. Yeah, and it has a young Jerry Butler and Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney's in it, yes. Mickey Rooney. Anyway, this takes place around and it starts in 1904. People are on a ship floating around, I guess, the ocean, the lake somewhere. And the ship catches on fire, right? And everybody's struggling and panicking and jumping overboard and all this stuff. And anyway, Mickey Rooney's parents and Jimmy Butler, parents, they both perish in fire. This gentleman, another man, adopts them, right? So as they get older, Mickey Rooney and Jerry Butler's character turn into Clark Gable and William Powell. And Clark Gable has a girlfriend, Myrna. I forget how to pronounce her name, but Low, right? So then she meets up with William Powell. He's the district attorney. So she, leaves Clark Gable and goes with William Powell. They get married. But Clark Gable is a gangster, right? He's a bad boy. And, he does a couple things for his brother. He basically kills a couple of people. But William Powell's character has to put him in jail and give him the death sentence, really. So that's what the movie's about. And this movie has a lot to do with the movie that Johnny Dillinger was watching the night that he left the show, and went outside, went for a walk. And Melvin Purvis showed up, and FBI and G-Men or whatever they were called, and shot him and killed him. So it was already a hit. The movie was already a good movie when it first appeared, like on screen, and it got bigger after that. Everybody wanted to go see this movie. But it's a good movie. What did I give it? I gave it an 8. If you haven't seen Manhattan Melodrama, watch it if you can. Find it anywhere. Watch it and you'll like it. I also watched Blood Diamonds with Leonardo DiCaprio, made in 2006. It's the movie right here. Blood Diamonds. Yes. Takes place over in, what's that place? Sierra Leone. It's about the boy soldiers, with machine guns and shooting all the villagers and killing everybody, and boy, a lot of machine guns going on. People dying in this movie left and right. Has to do with the diamond trade. A very interesting movie, but very violent, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people getting shot and killed. Anyway, I give it a 6. I don't really recommend Blood Diamonds to anybody, but if you want to watch it, go ahead. And then I watched another movie on TCM, The North Star. Yes, 1943. Stars Walter Houston, Ann Baxter, Walter Brennan, Dana Andrews. It's about the Second World War, of course. The Russian community farmers, right? Little houses and goats and stuff. Regular small little village. Anyway, the Germans show up, right? But yeah, the Germans show up. they start coming down the road. Anyway, the men jump on the horses and take off to the woods, I guess, the forest, right, and hide out there, and they're waiting for these guns to get to them, right? They're on a horse and wagon, and not just on horses, and Walter Brennan and and Jane Withers, you know, and a couple other people are trying to get the guns there. Anyway, it's a long way to get the guns. Jane Withers' character, she's a young girl, female girl, yes, female, yeah, all girls are females. But her character is very good. I really like Jane Withers in this one. So, very interesting movie, The North Star. Well, the Germans invading a small little village and killing everybody and taking the children and taking blood out of the children to put blood into the German soldiers, and the children die. And it's a terrible movie, but the other side of the coin, it's a good movie. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I gave it an 8. An 8. TCM, The North Star, 1943. And Sunday I watched Crime Wave on TCM, Sterling Hayden. It's about some gangsters escape, right, from jail, prison, right, and they're planning on robbing a bank, and they need a driver, right, because their driver got shot and killed by the cops earlier because they were trying to rob a gas station. But they're looking for a driver, so they go to this guy's place, phone him up, looking for him. He just got out of jail, but he wants to be he doesn't want to have anything to do with these guys, right? He doesn't want to drive for them or anything. So, you got to watch the movie to find out what happens. Does he drive for them? He's also married to a young girl, right? And stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a very interesting story. It's a film noir, black and white, right? So that was 1954. So that stars it doesn't star. Sterling Hayden is the main guy. He's a cop, right? He's a cop. He sucks on toothpicks. Instead of smoking cigarettes, he sucks on toothpicks, chews on toothpicks. All right, and Charles Boshinsky's in it. Yeah, in 1954. Later known as Charles Bronson. So, and I gave that a 6. Did I give it a 6? Yeah, I gave it a 6. All right, and I also watched this movie. Escape from New York, 1981. Kurt Russell. And Barbara, what's her name? Adrienne Barbeau. She's in it too. She's cute. Yeah, so he's sent into this New York, Allen, New York. Was it New York Allen or something? Anyway, it's surrounded by these walls and stuff. And all these bad fuckers are in there, right? And he's sent in there to get the president out. And he's got like 24 hours, right, to get the president out. That's hilarious. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Kurt Russell, yeah. So I don't know if you've seen that one. Most of you's probably seen Escape from New York. I gave it an 8, yeah. Gets an 8, it's fun. And, I also watched Swamp Thing. You know Swamp Thing? Yeah, Adrienne Barbeau's in Swamp Thing, too.
We do!
Adrienne Barbeau. Adrienne Barbeau, yeah, where was that? Right here, see? Adrienne Barbeau. 1981. And Louis Jordan. Ray Wise. And Swamp Thing is Dick Durock. Very interesting story. She goes to the swamp. She's a doctor, scientist, all right? And she goes into the swamp to help these guys. Anyway, one thing leads to another, as I always say, the same line, one thing leads to another, to get to the point. There's an explosion, right? And Ray Wise's character, the scientist, gets thrown out the door. He lands in the swamp, right? Anyway, he turns into the Swamp Thing, right? You can shoot the Swamp Thing, you can't kill him. But most of you know the Swamp Thing. This is the first Swamp Thing, like the original one, right? So, I talk a lot more about movies, but the video's going to be really, really long, right? So, none of you like a long video. So that was Swamp Thing. I give it a 7. It's a fun movie. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it.
Where are you going?
And I watched this one. No, I watched Logan. What is it? What year was this? 2016? 2016 or something like that. I watched the black and white version, Logan, black and white versions on this. This is a really good movie. Yeah, this is a really good story. For a so-called superhero story, it's more of a family type story. Yeah, hard to say that, but yeah. So Wolverine, yeah. So he's got his was Charles Xavier, right, the wheelchair and stuff, and then these bad guys are on the lookout for this little girl, and they go to his place looking for this girl. Man, oh man, this little girl is something else. Yeah, she's like Wolverine. She's got claws that come out of her hands. She's got a claw, spiky kind of thing that comes out of her foot, and she's stabbing these guys and kicking them, and frig, man, it's a good movie. And they end up going on the run, right on the road and stuff, and they meet up with a man and a lady and a son, and the horses get out on the road, and they help them put the horses back together again. Then you get to go to their farm. Yeah, it's like, I won't tell you anymore, I'll spoil it. If you haven't seen Logan, especially in the black and white version, watch it. I give it a 9, friggin' 9. I like this one. I really like it. The Equaliser. The Equaliser. I watched this on Crave TV right here in Toronto.
Are you sure this thing is safe?
He's a retired CIA Black Ops. Everybody thinks he's dead, right? So he's living at home. He's a driver, what do you call it? One of those Uber drivers. In this one, right? The first one he worked at Lowe's or what is it? Yeah, I'm pretty well sure it was Lowe's or something like that. Hardware store, those big places. But this is the second one, the Equaliser. This is pretty good too. One of his friends, right? One of his lady friends, that she knows that he's alive, right? She gets killed, right? So he goes back, he investigates and finds out, trying to find out, right, who killed her, right? So it's all involved with that. And you just never know who the bad guys are, you know? Your friend that you've known for years could be a bad guy, but you don't know it. But watch Equaliser too, it's fun. Got a lot of action in it. Denzel Washington looks at his watch and goes, 30 seconds. Boom, bang, boom. 29 seconds. Click. That's it. I like it. The Equaliser. I give it a 7. This is the second time I watched this. I like it. If it's on again, I might watch it again. Who the hell knows? Alright, what was that? Yeah, Crave TV. Alright, still got more to go.
Thank the maker.
Don't go away. Greed. Greed? Yeah, Greed. You know, Rocky Balboa, Greed, you know. Faces up against Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago. You know, I like this movie. I gave it a 7. But I thought of something. Wouldn't it be nice if the bad guy won once in a while? Just for the hell of it? Just no other reason? Because I think I saw this movie before a few years ago. Why am I always thinking that? There are some movies that I think to myself, I saw this movie before somewhere. I can't remember. So maybe every once in a while, maybe.
No more adventures. I'm not going that way.
Maybe the bad guy can win. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, I watched this the other day again, second time. Oh, I got the video of the video of it, right? This one was on Crave TV, so I watched it. I really like this movie, even though Mike says the ending's a little rough, right? I get it. I know what he's talking about, but what are you gonna do, eh? It's Quentin Tarantino. He gets a little rough near the end, but it's another what if movie. Time things changed. What if this happened and that happened? So it's a good movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. I like it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on Crave TV. And I watched this one. Star Trek. First Contact, 1996. They go back in time. right? They all go back to Stewart, and the girls and the boys go back in time. They time travel to 2061, right? Just to make sure that this old cockeyed scientist that listens to rock and roll music, gets drunk, likes whiskey, and dancing with the girls, right? That he makes a space flight. It's a fun movie. Nothing wrong with it. What did I give it? Because Star Trek movies are hard to rate, right? You know what I mean? I gave it I think I gave it a 7. It's all right, nothing wrong with it. You can watch it. I'd probably watch it again one time next month, next year, who knows. I like watching, most Star Trek movies I like watching. Some of them are a little flat, a little dull, but most of them, Star Trek movies are all right. All right, so that's 1996. Now, then I watched this one over here. Bullit, Steve McQueen. Yeah, Steve McQueen. He acts his age, or he acts the part in this movie, right? Bullit, he acts the part in that one. Yeah, something fishy going on here in this movie. He's thinking to himself, he has to turn around and go look after this guy in his hotel room, right? He's going to be a squealer rat. He's ratting on the boys, right? So he goes there and he leaves his other cops and says, I'll be back, right? So anyway, this bad guy, this squealer, is a rat that's in the room. He goes over to the door, right? There's a knock on the door. He goes over to the door. The other cop, the FBI agent or CIA agent or a detective or whatever the hell he is, says, hey, get away from the door. Guy flips the lock off. Next thing you know, the freaking door breaks down, right? In comes the guy with the shotgun, blasts the cop, right? Then the squealer rat goes, hey, wait a minute, who are you? Wait, you're not supposed to... Jumps up in the bed, and the guy with the shotgun just blows the fucking right out of him. Turns around and walks away and down the stairs, and how the hell did he do that? How the hell did he know that he was there? Seems kind of fishy to me. Anyway, that's Bullit. And the best thing about this movie, hands down, is the car chase. The Mustang, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. I always like that. What is it, a 9-minute car chase? Anyway, that's good. I gave it an 8. Did I give it an 8? I better write that down now. I gave it an 8. There it is. I wrote down an 8. Hope this video's not too long. All right. We're almost done. Bullit, 1966. Yeah, an 8. Steve McQueen. He looks like a cop or a detective. This movie right here, The Karate Kid. This is a fun movie. First time I saw this movie was in, what, 84, 85? You know when you rent it, you rent them. I rented this movie. I was living on Salter Street here in Toronto, down at Broadway and Queen. Yeah, I remember renting this. This movie was a big hit. Everybody loved this movie in 1984. Little skinny little kid getting the crap beat out of him. Who doesn't like that story, right? So what? He meets up a friend, a guy, right? And an old Japanese guy, right? And an old Japanese guy puts the more painting his house, shining the floors, sanding, and all that stuff, right? Turns in, he's the Karate Kid. Yeah. Not the Karate Kid in DC comic books. Totally different guy. So now, this movie is great, and he ends up fighting in a tournament at the end. Does he win? Does he win? Well, you're going to have to watch the movie to find out. But most of you probably know the answer to that. There was 2 more Karate Kids. Not anywhere near as good as this one. I even think there was a Karate Girl, wasn't there? What's her name was in it? I don't have that one. I forget her name. Oh, was the girl in $1 Million Baby? Was that her? The actress? I think so.
I am C-3PO, human-cyborg relations.
Karate Kid. All right. What else? Oh. I watched this too. Batman versus Superman. Yes, Batman versus Superman. What did I give it? I gave it a 7. 2016, I think it is. All right, so what happens? Mainly, I'll give you a little Reader's Digest version. Here's Batman. He's getting the lowdown on Superman. This guy from another planet, etc. Right? So Superman's fighting with what's his name from this planet too. They're getting a fight. They're destroying buildings. They're killing people. They're wrecking the 7-Eleven. Batman can't get a Slurpee now because Superman pissed him off, right? So Batman decides to take out Superman. Did you hear what I said? Batman decides to take out Superman. So he gets, in a roundabout way, there we go again. He gets this green kryptonite thing like a spear. He's just about to stab Superman in the chest, and Superman says, "Hey, hold on there!" And he says something, he mentions Martha, his mother. Superman's got a mother, right? We all got a mother, or most of us. Martha. And Batman, Bruce Wayne says, "What? What did you say?" Talking about his mother, Martha. "Oh, my mother's name's Martha too." And all of a sudden they're buddies, man. Like, hug, kiss me, man. Yeah. And you're thinking, wow. And when you really think about it, though, I mean, this is a 2.5, 3-hour movie. And it's all right, but don't think about it, okay? Don't think. It's another one of those movies like, don't think about it. Just watch the movie, right? Just watch the movie. And the best thing about this movie, the whole 3 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever you want to say it, the best thing about this movie is who? What do you think? What's the best thing about this movie? Right here. Right here. Wonder Woman. Yeah. Yeah, forget a fuck about Superman and Batman. Wonder Woman. All right.
Oh my, I'd forgotten how much I hate space travel.
That's it for the movies I watched this week. Now, I do hope you're all staying at home. I do hope you're all safe. And there are still some idiots out there in the world walking around. Fucktards, I call them. And here in Toronto, they're starting to give out fines. If you're not family or something, just a couple of dummies or some dummies walking along the boardwalk, right, you're going to get a $1,000 fine because they're fed up with your fucking bullshit. There's people going down last week, they were down at the beach, decided to go there. The parking lot was full down there, all the dummies walking around the beach. And there's people, they got the, the playgrounds all taped up, all padlocked up, and the people are going around ripping tapes down. They're cutting the locks off the chain link fences so they can get in. Yeah, so how many dumb fuckers are in the world, right? Take a look around, there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of them, right? So, I hope they do get a $1,000 fine. I do. I don't like them. They're stupid bastards. They're making it bad for the rest of us. Here I am staying in the house and these stupid fucks are running around the neighborhood. Well, maybe not here, but down at the beach. Yeah. So.
Where are you going now?
Where am I going now? I'm not going anywhere.
You don't know what's out there.
Well, I certainly don't. All right, people. I hope you are all safe, like I said, and keep watching those movies. Until next Friday, until then.